Hi there. In this video, I'm going to show you how to grade an English reading comprehension assignment on Google Forms using AI. So the first thing you'll want to do is navigate to withleo.ai. This is the homepage. You can create an account for free. Just click on the login button at the top right. I'm already logged in, so for me, it says go to app. Now, for this assignment, it's a pretty straightforward Google Forms assignment, and it's got 3 questions. It's titled Understanding Act 2, Scene 3 of Othello. So I ask for the student's name and their email, and then I also have the 3 questions that this assignment has. So the first one is, what is the main reason Iago wants Cassio to get drunk? The second question is, who does Iago blame for the fight between Cassio and Rodrigo? And then lastly, what advice does Iago give Cassio after Othello demotes him? So pretty straightforward, 3 questions. Each of them are short answer responses. So students are required to write a sentence or two for their answers. We also have 3 example responses, so I'll show you how to export these as a CSV and then upload them to Leo to have Leo grade all the responses using AI in just about a couple minutes. So once you log in to Leo, you'll see this dashboard, this homepage. And to grade an assignment, you can click on the bright orange button here, grade an assignment. And that's going to take you to a page that looks like this. For this, we're going to go with score-based. And then it's going to ask me to create the assignment, essentially, to give Leo the details of this assignment. So the first step is to give the assignment a name. I'm just going to copy and paste the assignment name from the Google Forms. So that's step 1. And then step 2, I have to define the questions and their grading criteria. And so this lets Leo know what exactly Leo should be looking out for when it's looking at student responses and how to allocate points to those student responses. So the first question is, what is the main reason Iago wants Cassio to get drunk? So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it into this box here, type in the question. And so now we defined question 1. Now, we also have to define the criteria for this question. So in order for students to get this question correct, they need to have mentioned that Iago wants to tarnish Cassio's reputation. So we can write in the description. First, I click on the add criterion box here. That'll create an option for you to add a criterion. And I can say here, student understands that Iago wants to tarnish Cassio's reputation. And you can also adjust how many points you want this to be worth. For this question, 1 point is good enough. So that's question 1. Now we have to do the same for question 2. Question 2, we have, who does Iago blame for the fight between Cassio and Rodrigo? I'll copy that over into this box, and then I can add a criterion for this one as well. And for this question, I believe a student needs to have identified that Cassio is the one who Iago blames. So I have this criterion copied in a different window, so I'm just going to paste that here. Student identifies Cassio as the one who Iago blames for the fight with Rodrigo. And we can set this to be worth 1 point as well, or you can adjust it to 2 points, however many points you'd like it to be worth. And then we have one more question, question 3, which is, what advice does Iago give Cassio after Othello demotes him? So I'll copy that. And for this one, I wanted to demonstrate this button over here, which is add criteria with AI. And so the way this works is if you've entered the question into this question box, you can ask Leo to suggest a criteria for you. So I've already pasted the question in, and now I can click on the blue button, and that's going to send the question to Leo, and Leo's going to produce a response. So in this case, student identifies that Iago advises Cassio to seek Desdemona's help in getting back into Othello's favor. Student mentions that Iago suggests Cassio should appeal to Desdemona because she has influence over Othello. And then the last criteria was, student notes that Iago's advice is part of the scheme to make Othello jealous and suspicious of Desdemona and Cassio. So this is a very elaborate sort of criteria set. There's probably a little bit more detail than we need. We only need the student to identify that Iago advises Cassio to seek Desdemona's help. So I can just delete these 2, keep the first one, and let's say I want this to be worth 2 points. And there we have it. So those are the 3 questions for this assignment. Question 1, question 2, question 3, and each question has its corresponding criteria for how we want that question to be graded. Now we can move on to step 3, which is more options. These are optional. You don't have to select these. The first one is for handwriting. This is if the student responses are handwritten. We recommend selecting this so that Leo knows to look for a handwriting rather than for digital text. And then the second option is providing instant feedback. And that one is useful if you want to give students the opportunity to upload it themselves and look at the feedback that Leo generates instantly, rather than you having the opportunity to review Leo's feedback, to review Leo's grades. So we're going to leave these off for now and just click create at the bottom. So that's going to create the assignment, and it's going to ask for student submissions next. So here we go. Now for student submissions, there's several options for how to upload student submissions. These are all the different file formats that we accept. So there's PDFs, Word documents, PowerPoints, images, text files, and also CSVs. CSVs are useful if we're using Google Forms, and in our case, we're using Google Forms. So I'm going to show you how to export as a CSV. So these are the responses that we had. And I can just click on the 3-dot button at the top right of the responses tab, and that's going to show me the option to download responses as a .csv file. So if I click on that, that's going to download that to my computer. I can unzip it so that I open up the actual CSV file, and then I can go back to Leo and I can simply drag and drop that file into this box. And now that's uploading, and Leo is going to parse all the different rows and create each student's individual submission. And there we have it. These are the 3 student submissions. They're all ready to grade, and I just have to click on grade all at the top right, and now everything's grading. So this grading process takes about a minute, and so we'll revisit this about 30 seconds to 1 minute later, and we should see the grades of each student. All right, so now it's been about 30 seconds, and you can see that the results have come in, and the status has been graded for all the 3 different submissions, and you can see the grades out of 4 in this column here. Now, if I click into each submission, that'll show me how the student did in each of the questions and each of the criteria. And so for Alex here, we can see that Alex got the first question correct, the second question incorrect, and then the third question correct. And the right side in this right box is a student response. So we can see the timestamp, the name, email, and also the responses to each of the 3 questions. Now, Alex responded Rodrigo for question 2, when the actual answer was Casio. And so Leo marked that as incorrect. This icon here will reveal feedback that Leo gave the student for that question. So here the student incorrectly identifies Rodrigo as the one Iago blames for the fight with Casio. And so now you can do this for each of the students to take a look at how they did in terms of the breakdown. You can also go to the analytics tab, which will show you how the class did overall on this assignment. So you can see question 1 out of 3 students got it correct. Question 2, also 1 out of 3 got it correct. And then question 3, 2 out of 3 students got this one correct. And so there you have it. If you have a class of 20 students or 25 students, and they all have responses to the Google form, you can upload all of them as a CSV, grade all of them in about 30 seconds, and then you can send the responses back to students as well, just by selecting all the rows and going to the actions button and clicking on email result to students. And then the students will be able to see their grade as well as the feedback that Leo gave.